All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we are actually live in full effect. Right here, we got the legendary Long Beach, California hip-hop group, G-Funk group. We got Foesum right here, also known as Perfection, live on the radio station airwaves. How are you guys doing this evening?
Good. What it do?
Terrific. What up to all y'all out there?
And I gotta say, man, how's everything out on your guys' end out there in Long Beach? Because I know down here in Canada, we're still dealing with the aftermath of COVID-19 and whatnot. Like, how's everything out there in Long Beach?
They real, what do you call, strict on us out here, man. They trying to do us, hit us some different, mandates and stuff. We got to keep the mask on and all this and that stuff. You got to have, like, paperwork to get into some places. They want stuff, proof that you've been vaccinated to get into stores, get into restaurants, stuff like that.
Movie theaters, all kind of
stuff.
It definitely sounds
so they're real strict on us.
I was just saying, it definitely sounds like Canada down here. We have the same restrictions. You got to show proof of vaccination and all that fun stuff, man. It personally, I know they're trying to keep people safe, but at the same time, man, they could probably go a little bit more lenient.
Yeah, definitely. They're way overdoing it. Way overdoing it.
But I know you guys are very busy individuals, so I'm going to dive right into this broadcast, man. But I want to take you back to the very beginning of this iconic G-Funk group, man. And I have to ask, how did you guys actually get connected? Like, what is the origin story behind Foesum?
Don't everybody speak at once, huh?
Go ahead, tell me.
Go ahead, Glaze. You know what to do.
So when me and him started, we used to DJ back in like high school, and so we used to be a DJ group called Perfection, and we DJ'd at our high school and started picking up, doing house parties and stuff like that. And T-Dubb and his brother Trav, they would always be with us. We've been friends ever since we were little kids. And so, through all of that, rocking parties, we decided, that we wanted to make our own record. This was back when, in like the late '80s, early '90s, right, is when this was all happening. So there was a lot of records like KRS-One was out, Criminal Minded stuff, NWA, so yeah, EPMD, Eric B. and Rakim. It was like a lot of great music back then, and we felt like, the music that we were playing, we could make music just as dope. We knew what all the dope music was to play, so we were like, let's make our own record, So what we did was we kind of went on a hunt to try to find the dopest MCs, and then we came across this dude named Domino, and then so we ended up being a big clique, and everyone started rapping. T-Dubb is first cousins with the Twins, and so the Twins became part of our group, Waniac actually, and then we were just real thick, and we used to be doing all kinds of local shows and showcases and things like that, and that's kind of how it all started. We were making tracks in the garage with the 808 drum machine. I was on turntables. We had a 4-track recorder, and it was just crazy. I mean, we crossed paths with a lot of people back then, including Snoop, Snoop. So that was kind of how it all started. It was kind of, we was just on a mission to try to make a record, and then it got real serious.
And also, as well, in the year 1991, while you guys were still under the name Perfection, you guys actually met Big West and Suge Knight. I was wondering, how did you guys actually get connected with those two individuals? And, of course, what was it like just working alongside them?
Well, we just had this, there was a show in Long Beach called, what was it in there?
It wasn't a Superfest. That was
I don't remember the name. That's how we met Big West. Actually, sorry, let me go back to it goes back so far. It goes back. There was a gentleman that we knew named Big Ty. He used to be a football coach and a teacher at one of the schools. So he used to hear us rap all the time. And he was like, I got somebody I want you guys to meet, man. So he took us to the BRE. That was the name of it. It was in Long Beach, big showcase he used to have every year.
It's a black radio exclusive, is what it's
That's
called.
what it was, yeah, that's it. So he's like, I got somebody I want you guys to meet because they're good friends of his. So he's like, sure. So we met him on the spot. He was like, all right, we had one of our homeboys beatbox, and we just started rapping. And that was actually Big West. So from that point on and that day on, it was Big West the whole time because he thought that we was really dope, you know what I mean? And at that time, he was like a security guard. He was doing security for different groups, him and Big Suge Knight at that time. So that's how we met.
And I think as well around that time, I believe they were doing bodyguard work for New Edition, if I'm not mistaken.
That's it. Yeah, New Edition.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's cool.
But also as well, in the mid-1990s, you guys actually recorded Lil Something Something and Listen to the Sound that ultimately caught the ear of the late, great Eazy-E. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about that, and of course, what was it like doing business and working alongside CEO of Ruthless Records?
That was an amazing time, man. That was an amazing time. We hooked up with them through Tony G and Julio G. We were recording our album. Actually, we were recording our album at a studio called Skip Sailors in Hollywood. But one of the main people that I was working with was Tony G, one of the original KD Mix Masters. Right. And Julio G was also there. And Eazy put him on to do a radio show.
Radio show.
Yeah, the Ruthless radio show.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff started going from there. So they would play a lot of our music on there. So he would hear it, like he really liked it too.
Right. Because it was, like you said, that was ironic because we would always be with Tony G and Julio G at the studio, and at that time, like MNMsta said, that they started the Ruthless radio show, and he was like, "Hey, Glaze, T-Dubb, Eminem, I want you guys to come down and meet somebody." So we go down onto the studio, and it was Eazy-E. So Glaze had put a song together real quick. It actually was called "Listen to the Sound." We put it together, and Eazy had left, came back. He had some business here. So he left and came back, and we had the song finished and complete. And so he's like, "Man, all right, you guys sound pretty dope." And then one day, got a phone call from Tony G, like, "Hey, come down, T-Dubb. Eazy wants to sign you guys." You know, and at that time we didn't believe him, but he was actually cleaning his roster at Ruthless Records. He was cleaning his roster, so he was starting fresh. So we go down there, and ironically, it was some guys there that were already waiting on him to come, and it was Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. And it just came from Cleveland, so they were in Tony G's studio, and we all met at the same time. And we were just, little technical difficulties. We couldn't get the contracts how we really wanted it, so we weren't able to go with Eazy. And then at that time, he got sick. So it was just a lot going on, but he showed us a lot of love, though.
And I gotta say as well, were you guys actually there? Did you guys witness like as they say, like the infamous Bone Thugs and Harmony audition?
No, they were already signed. I think they were already when we had met them. Yeah, so they were recording at Tony G's studio. Yeah,
right. We went to some of the shows that they had, some of their shows, and they were just starting. Yeah, so they looked like they were starting off to be something big, but we actually, they wouldn't invite us because they still wanted us to sign the Ruthless Records. So that's why we always participated at some of the events.
And I gotta say as well, like you guys also, I sense like obviously the Ruthless Records opportunity didn't work out. You guys also signed with Tommy Boy Records as well, which back in the day they were doing huge things for hip hop, like Naughty by Nature, Queen Latifah, and the list goes on. I have to ask, how did that deal ultimately come together for you guys, man? Because Tommy Boy was the place to be for hip hop artists back in the day.
Right.
I can answer that actually. Yeah. So I remember at the time we had a manager out in New York. His name was Kevin Mitchell, and he was the one that was shopping, some of our demo around, and he got it in the hands of Tom Silverman, over at Tommy Boy, and then also over to I think it was Craig Kaufman over at Big Beat Atlantic. And when we actually went out to meet Tom Silverman at I think it was at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so we met Tom Silverman back then, and I think at the time he wanted to kind of give us more of like a development deal, which probably would have been a cool deal because at Tommy Boy they do spend a lot of time developing the artists, but we were ready to go. Like we wanted to sign because we already had kind of an offer from Easy, and then Atlantic Records was also giving us, a contract with an offer. So we weren't willing to wait. We wanted to go ahead and try to get our record out as soon as possible. Right? So that's kind of what came of that. And then eventually, when we were on Atlantic, a guy named Neil Levine, who was on a subsidiary of Tommy Boy, Penalty Records, he liked the album so much that he wanted to put it out. So that's how the album ended up coming out on Penalty Tommy Boy. So that's how we became part of that family. Yeah. So the singles came out on Big Beat Atlantic, but the I believe Running Game and the actual album came out on Penalty Tommy Boy. Yep.
And speaking of that iconic record, that was actually next on my question list, man. The album titled Perfection. I was wondering, can you tell our listeners a bit more about this iconic album? And of course, what was one of your guys' most fondest memories you shared just making this masterpiece, man? Because this album is still big today.
You guys want to answer that?
To me, it was special because just to see Glaze put the tracks together and all, just the work that he put in, and then MNMsta and then myself, we just writing the rhymes and everything collectively coming together and working with Foesum, with us collectively, everything had to be tight. It had to be perfection. It had to be perfection. So we would always do things over, write your rhyme over, but Glaze always came dope with the tracks. That was automatic. He always had the dope tracks. So we just gravitated to that G-Funk sound, and then we actually had a song with Snoop Dogg called Let 'Em Understand Perfection. So that's why when you hear him say that on, I believe that's the G thing, record, he said perfection is perfection. So I let him understand. That was just, the little shout out to us because we had a song with Snoop called Let 'Em Understand Perfection.
But actually what had happened was at that time we were called Perfection. But right after that was when we changed our name to Foesum.
You're right.
And the thing about it was once we had changed the name to Foesum, we had told him, but he was like, "Man, it's too late. I can't go back and change it."
Yeah, and you have to think too at that time. So we did a lot of we had to do pretty much everything on our own, right? We got some direction from Tony G and Julio G and people like that, but a lot of the stuff we had to learn on our own. So we produced ourselves. We wrote our own lyrics. We came up with our own hooks and stuff, the concepts. We had to do everything, and we were in competition. The way we looked at it, we were in competition with Snoop, Nate, Warren G, the Twins, the Dub Shack. Everybody in our city at the time was kind of popping, and we were like, we can't. There's no way we're going to sell ourselves short, right? So we had waited too long to get to that point. So we pretty much put everything that we had, money, time, effort, everything, resources into recording that album. I don't think any of us had jobs, or if we did, we didn't care about them too much back then. So we really focused on just that album alone, at the time. So it was a lot of late nights of playing ping pong and drinking coffee and hot chocolate. I can tell you that.
and going fishing after the session.
Yeah.
And T-Dubb as well, man. I got a question actually for you, man. Like, since we're still in the criteria of 1996, in 96, man, you were actually featured on Deuce Mob's going solo record on the joint Life of a Gangsta, man. I was wondering, how did yourself and Deuce Mob get connected? And of course, what was it like just working on that project with him?
Actually, it was a good friend of ours, Kid Frost. We always did things with Kid Frost, and he actually called MNMsta and myself, and we both participated on that album and that project. But those were some good guys, cool guys. I think they were from Denver, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's where they were from. So Frost hit us up like, hey, man, I want you guys to do a song with these guys I'm working with, man. I told you guys it was dope, so come on down and let's do it. And the track was banging. So that's how we hooked up with the Deuce Mob. I believe it's Fabian. I know one of the guys' name was Fabian, and I'm not sure the other guy, but yeah. So we hooked up with them and did our magic.
And also as well, DJ Glaze, in the year 2004, you were actually a producer of E. White's 48 Hours, the White Album, where I actually read that it was actually recorded and completed in just 2 days. I was wondering, what is the story behind that record? And of course, why did you guys rush that album? Because I gotta say, me personally, I think that album was rushed to perfection.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't produce that album myself. As a matter of fact, we had a lot of producers that contributed to that album, and our group Foesum produced that whole album together.
Right.
Matter of fact, because E. White is Dubb's cousin, and so we knew E. White was dope, and so we wanted to record him before he went in. But all that Dubb explained why we only have 48 hours.
Well, to piggyback off of Glaze, like you said, E. White is my first cousin, my little cousin. He actually had to go do some things. He had to go sit down for a couple, a little spell he had to go do. So we only had 2 days to complete the album and get all the lyrics together and all the hooks and all the tracks together, because he had to go do a little something. He had to sit down for a little while. So that was the reason why we rushed the album. He wanted to get it done before he had to go away for a couple years. But yeah, so that was the reason why. That's why we had to rush the album and get it done, and it came out dope.
And I gotta say, it definitely came out dope in my personal opinion, man. You know what I mean? If I wouldn't have actually even read about that, and I would have actually put that CD in and listened to it, I wouldn't have even heard the difference that it was filmed that it was recorded in 2 days, man. It definitely blows your mind just knowing what actually happens in the background of some of these miraculous records.
Right. There was a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people contributed to that. Producer, Cigar Lee, and we just had a lot of artists in there, just different rappers at that time.
Yeah, and you got to remember that a lot of the guys that we work with, I mean, they're very polished and just ready to work. Right, everyone's very professional. So it's we don't go to the studio and play around. I mean, it's very serious when we get in there. So we take care of business. We laugh and joke and stuff like that. But we know that we got something to do, and we know what we're looking for too. So it's kind of easy for us.
And also as well, in the year 2011, you actually released my personal favorite solo album by you, actually titled Unbreakable. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about this iconic record, and is it still available to be streamed or purchased today?
As far as it being streamed or purchased, yes, it's definitely available. You could look it up. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely available. That song, I mean, the album. I just love the rap. You know what I'm saying? So I got like stuff, for days. You know what I'm saying? I've always just been in like lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Been a lyricist. So I just love the rap, and that's a a very tight and very well completed album. I do like that album also. Got some more stuff coming up.
And I gotta say as well, my favorite track off that record is actually That's How We Roll, man. Always my go-to joint when I listen to that record.
Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a talkbox by the homie DJ AK out of Lyon, France. Yeah, he also did Shut It Down on that album. Yes.
I gotta say, definitely a phenomenal talkbox artist.
What was that?
I was gonna say he's definitely a phenomenal talkbox artist.
Yeah, man, he's like one of the best ones it is now. The only two I know that's really dope is him and Fingers. Him and Fingers. Well, Fred Wreck too. Well, Quick too. Those four. That pretty much covers it, man. I don't too many others that can get down like them.
And also as well, just legit 6 days ago, so less than a week, you guys actually released an unreleased song titled the Taiwan Song. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about this amazing song. And of course, I'm going to be playing it immediately following this interview here on the FM dial. And for the individuals that haven't heard this song yet, what can they expect from it if this is their first time hearing it on 97.7 FM?
So that's not a new song, actually. That's an old song that I found in the archives. It's an unfinished song, but it was supposed to be a collaboration with somebody from Taiwan. I don't even know if the guys remember it, to be honest with you. So I think if you play it, they'll be surprised to hear it.
I don't know. Like, I mean, we do so many songs with people that it's like sometimes you hear it like, I don't even remember that song.
But that one, it's unfinished, right? It's unfinished, so it doesn't have verses from anybody, that was supposed to rap on it other than us, and then there's not even any lyrics on the song either. Yeah, it's complete.
But also, one thing I have to ask, and I know you guys probably get asked this a lot, but I know for the listeners that are listening, they're probably wondering, are you guys actually going to be doing another Foesum record? And of course, if so, what can we expect from it when it does drop?
Well, you can definitely expect another Foesum album. It's coming. And as you know, perfection is perfected, so we let them understand. So it's going to be dope because Glaze is going to come with the tracks. Also with the lyrics, MNMsta and myself, we're going to come with the lyrics. And also, you'll hear different people on there and different artists. Just to let them show and prove, but it would be definitely something that you'll want to listen to for sure.
Guarantee fire. Guaranteed.
Oh, most definitely. But also, I think you guys should put a disclaimer actually on that record as well, man, that if it actually happens to melt anybody's eardrums or speakers, that you guys aren't liable for.
I respond.
True that.
But I gotta ask, man, what is next for yourself, for you guys, man? Like, is there anything I happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you guys still want to promote, whether it's Foesum project related or solo projects? Like, you guys have the floor, man. Definitely plug your stuff and let us know what's going on if I happen to miss it.
So one thing that we are working on is, we just launched our new website. It's FoesumOfficial.com. And we have same thing. Our Instagram is Foesum Official. We're also on Facebook. So we're trying to pull all of our social media and all of our followers together because we haven't had a website in a while. So we just thought it'd be good for us to kind of get control of some of our music again, so that people can go to a central place and listen to it. But yeah, we plan to release new music. We're working on videos. We shot a video for our classic song "In the Wind," and we're going to be releasing that soon. Hopefully, we're hoping to get Bo Rock in the video, but if not, we're gonna drop it soon. We already recorded some of that, and then like T-Dubb and MNMsta, we're going to work on a new album, and then we're going to try to work on selling some merch too, because we know that people want Foesum gear. They want West Coast gear, Long Beach gear. So we're going to start to get into a little bit of that business and try to sell some merchandise around the world, and hopefully maybe tour when things open back up. Right, when it gets when things are safe. Maybe get a chance to go out again and start touring. So, right, a lot of things to come.
So that'll be your job, DJ Immortal. You need to get us out there to Canada, man.
Hey, man, I gotta say, we are definitely overdue for a good concert, man. I tell this to a lot of artists, man. In my area, particularly, man, we don't get legendary artists like yourselves, man. Like we get, obviously we get Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube once every 5 years. But I live in a very rural area, man, so it's crazy when it comes to hip hop, man. You got to travel to like Vancouver or Toronto to actually be able to digest a great hip hop show that you guys can bring to the table.
Okay, that's understandable.
Hey, but you know what? If I can definitely try and pull some strings, man, and definitely try and make that happen, man. Because we definitely need a good real rugged, raw G-Funk show down here in my area, man. I think a lot of individuals will definitely dig it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if the fans want us to come out, you know what I mean, have them get at you, and if we can book something, you know, we'll try to get out there. You know, just really, if it makes sense, right? So.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But also, guys, this is the time in the interview quickly that I give a chance for the individuals that slide through the radio station airwaves, just like a chance to give like shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, but most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything, not only Foesum, but also you guys as individual artists as well.
Right. Well, as Glaze stated before, actually everything is together right now. So we just, like Glaze said, we just launched the Instagram. It's Foesum Official, and Foesum. What did you say, Glaze? What is it? Official.com. So
Foesum, yeah, FoesumOfficial.com.
Oh yes, FoesumOfficial.com. Right, and that's our IG handle. So all the listeners out there, check us out because we posting up more things. You can check out everything that we got going on.
And I gotta say as well, I was checking out your guys' website, and you guys have some phenomenal merchandise as well, man. So definitely expect a sale from me here soon, man. I definitely need to get myself a T-shirt or definitely a hoodie, man, because she's getting too cold down here in Canada.
I understand. I'm sure it is, man.
Yeah, pick up like a Walk in My Shoes T-shirt, or you know, what goes around comes around T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Foesum hats and Foesum hoodies, everything. Long sleeve T-shirts. We have all.
Socks.
Yeah, we get you a beanie and a mug too. You know, for your hot chocolate.
Exactly.
But also, I gotta say first, and my apologies.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, first and foremost, before we part ways here, I just want to give you guys your flowers, man, and just say thank you for making years of monumental music that not only myself but millions of listeners worldwide had the opportunity to enjoy for so many years, man. Thank you for just, you know, making some great music, and we are definitely looking forward to many more years of music to come by you guys, Foesum.
Thank you. We really appreciate you, DJ Immortal. We appreciate that.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome.
Also, what I wanted to tell you was, I also do have an album, waiting to come out very soon on deck right now. The name of the album is called Relentless.
And what was so quickly? I got to jump into that if you don't mind, man. Like, what is the anticipated release date for that? And of course, are you gonna have like any hard copies available for the old school listeners?
I'm sure we'll have. I'm sure we'll have that. But as far as available, when it will be released, probably I'll say early 2022. I'll just hold it till the beginning of the year.
I gotta say right there, that is definitely the great way to start off 2022 with some brand new G-Funk.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, there's some fire on there.
But I gotta say, guys, thank you so much for just taking a little bit of your time out this evening and gracing the Canadian FM dial tonight, man. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege. And honestly, I hope all you guys have a wonderful night out there in Long Beach. And hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Yes, indeed. Like I said before, we appreciate you, and nothing but love for all our Canada listeners out there and fans. Much love to you. And we will be out there, so expect us. We'll be there.
Hey, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And all the fans that's listening worldwide, you know, much love from Foesum. You know, y'all keep checking for us. We got some heat coming.
Most definitely. Now, I gotta say, we're definitely looking forward to that heat, man. Thank you so much, guys. Definitely have yourself a wonderful night, man, and definitely looking forward to the new music to come.
Appreciate you, man. All right. Take care.
Thanks a lot, Immortal.
Most definitely, guys. You are most certainly welcome. Have yourselves a wonderful night.
You do the same. Happy holidays to you, brother.
Happy holidays as well, man. Most definitely. Happy holidays to all three of you guys.
Thank you very much.
All right. First.